Outside today, and Taft Price talks with our garden expert Paul James for 2 News in the Garden.
Good morning, welcome back to In the Garden. Paul and Taft here. And Paul, we've been talking the last several weeks about pruning, some of the tools that we use. We talked about crepe myrtles and sometimes how they can be mispruned. But all of these trees need pruning of some type, and today we're looking at the sycamore.
This is a young sycamore, and the point I want to make today is that if you will take time to properly prune a young tree and maybe over the course of the next 3 to 5 years do a few other pruning cuts now and then, beyond that, you'll never have to prune again. And the great thing about that is you'll save yourself that $300 or $3,000 bill that the arborist wants to charge you for doing corrective pruning. So do it young. That's what I want to stress.
All right, whenever we're looking at a young tree like this, what are some of the things that we're looking for that we need to prune?
Okay, well, first up, this branch right here, you can see that it's getting ready to cross the one above it.
Okay.
We want to take that out. Crossing branches are a big no-no because when they cross, they'll actually do damage to the wood, and then that opens the site up for pest and disease problems. Okay. So this particular branch, I'm going to come all the way down to here, to this juncture here, and make my pruning cut. And that's going to take care of that problem.
Okay.
Now here's another branch. You can see that it's curving inward, all right? We don't want that. We want that open, we want it open in the middle there.
Okay.
So, and this one also has some other problems. There's been damage in the past, and it's not healing particularly well. So you can see there, and that, who knows? I mean, mechanical injury, whatever happened. So that one, again, we're gonna come back, get our pruners in there, and take that one off. I'm gonna take that one off just a little bit farther there. There we go. So we can look at some other possible issues here, and the one that's most pronounced to me is near the top. We've got what's called co-dominant leaders.
Okay.
And in some cases you'll have several of them. So, but ultimately you only want one central leader, okay? So I'm gonna have to ask you to tip this over.
Tip it over a little bit.
So I've got all these leaders here, and I gotta figure out which one that I want to be my central leader. And it's this one right here, because it's really the most straight up.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave that one, and I'm gonna cut this one back, and I'm gonna go to an outward facing bud. Now what that means is you've got buds that are going toward the inside, but you've got buds that are going toward the outside. I've got an outward facing bud right here, so that's good. It's gonna go that way. So I'm gonna cut just above that outward facing bud, and now I'm gonna have my leader. Now I'm gonna do the same thing here because this is another one that I really don't want. In fact, I'm gonna take that one all the way out because I don't even wanna make, there we go. I'm gonna take that one all the way out. Now I wanna do what's called a heading cut where you're cutting back a little bit. And again, there's an outward facing bud. I'm gonna cut above that bud, and that's gonna go out this way. And then finally, I see this one here. It's a little too big, a little out of proportion. Find that outward facing bud and make a cut. You need to trust your judgment to some extent because anyone can look at the tree and say, yeah, that's a little weird. That needs to be fixed. But that's all that really needs to be done with this tree. And you know, maybe next year, the year after, I'll do a couple other cuts, but by and large, that's it.
Because once you get that tree to form the way that you want it, then after it reaches a certain age, it's going to continue to grow and keep that form with minimal cuts as you were talking about. You're going to have to do less and less pruning as it gets a little bit older.
Absolutely, and you won't have problems down the line. Rarely will you ever walk in and find a tree that's absolutely perfect. They typically need a little bit of tidying up. But, you know, I mean, that took all of just a few minutes and I'm done. So it's a great thing to keep in mind. And I want to apologize to your loyal viewers because I know this isn't the sexiest subject in the world, but trust me, we're moving into the season where we're going to start doing some serious gardening.
Yeah, it's a pure necessity, no doubt about it.
In fact, taters are coming up soon.
All right.
I love taters.
Can't wait for that, and I'm already getting hungry. Thanks a lot, Paul, for that. Hey, hopefully these tips helped you in the garden as you're pruning some of these trees as we move into the springtime.